Virgos, welcome and welcome back to the Honey Sea Star Tarot. So this is going to be our weekend read from February 14th through the 16th, and happy Valentine's Day. For those that haven't seen it, I did another video specifically on Valentine's Day and how it affects us Virgos. So check it out if you haven't seen it. But before we get started in this reading, I just wanted to send all my love and light to each and every one of you. Thank you for being my Valentine, because truly this channel would not be what it is, would not be here without each and every one of you guys. And so thank you. I love you back. So let's see what's in store for us here this Valentine's Day. So as we walk into this weekend, like I say, because I did do a separate read on it, I'm not going to go into the history or anything too much, but the big thing that'll probably influence us most here on Valentine's Day is Mercury being in Pisces. This is where, for Virgos, it offers us an opportunity of heightened intuition. And as you can see with the Queen of Cups, I'm not surprised that that popped out here right away. But there's also a lot of Gemini energy and Cancer energy. And so it offers us the empathy of the mind. Empathy and increased empathy, rather, in our communication, as well as our receptivity to others' emotions. So if you're an empath, watch out. You may be very much feeling impacted by this, but more importantly, you've got your intuition. And so now is a time really to walk with the head and the heart. Stand in and sit, rather, in that Queen of Cups position where you're walking with kindness, with your warmth. Don't be surprised, too, if you also find inspiration in creativity. This position or astrological alignment boosts our creativity as well as our imagination and our attraction or desire to express ourselves through art, music, or even writing. So if you get into that hermit mode where you really look at receiving and giving guidance and mentorship, this is an opportunity to really get into that Virgo piece of you, that Virgo power, rather, if you will, the dreamer, the charisma behind it, and really express yourself through your arts, through your skills. Now, also, too, like I say, if you're an empath, this is a time, don't be surprised, where you may experience the ability to sense others' feelings more readily. Especially with your intuition being heightened, this may be like an opportunity, especially when you're connecting with your partner, where you can communicate on a deeper level beyond words is kind of what comes to mind. And so what I would say is, especially because you're coming off charming during this time too, that really it's an opportunity to really connect with others at that deeper level, especially, like I say, with having these gifts being more heightened or being more influenced. Now, with the Five of Cups here, some of us could be kind of in a place where you've been down lately. Maybe you've been dealing with change or instability, or even more kind of an issue that drives fear, uncertainty, especially if you're in the States. Not to try and bring up politics, but there have been a lot of changes that can bring on the feeling of overwhelmingness. In your personal life, though, what I'm really getting here from that is the energy of basically being heavy-hearted. Maybe looking at a period in the past that was easier and looking back at it as opposed to looking forward. This is an opportunity and really a reminder to cherish the present, especially with those empathic skills, especially when we are so in tune with the universe and with our own hearts and our own self-expression, but also in connecting with others to really come together and cherish the present. And this is a wheel, with the Wheel of Fortune, this is a turning point, really. Don't be surprised that this Valentine's Day brings on a focus for you in the way of partnerships and seeking balance and harmony, especially because the moon is going to be moving into Libra on the 15th. It influences us Virgos in particular in relationship realms, but more importantly, to seek that balance, to seek that harmony, and it encourages us to be more diplomatic and consider others' perspectives. You may also feel a desire for social connections during this time, where if you had been going into a place of loneliness, into a place where you're very isolated, feeling oppressed, feeling kind of basically in a place where you're needing to recover, rebuild, or wake up, feeling like you're in a fog, or like I say, overwhelmed comes to mind. This is where you're coming back to the table with the balance of the head and the heart in how you're communicating, how you're connecting, but also too a desire for creating relaxing, safe, and aesthetic environments, energies around you, so that you can and others can come to the table and really express themselves open-heartedly. Now, with the Seven of Cups here as well, what I do see is, there's also a lot of energy in the air, is kind of how I would put it nicely, but a lot of uncertainty in this, in this reading, but also too what's going on in the world. You may be coming up with the scorpionic energy, really looking at coming to the table with looking at personal challenges, looking within as to, looking at indicators from your exterior environment as to what's going on within, taking the wisdom from it, but also too recognizing the conflicts, the need to defend, the feeling of exhaustion as an opportunity or a challenge that is really just a temptation to lower your vibration. Now is the time, like I say, in order, in a lot of ways, as above, so below, right? And so in a lot of ways, looking at that inner turmoil, looking at what we can do to heal and light those shadows, to stand up, it gives us strength to stand up against oppression, but it also allows us to wake up to what was going on, process it more importantly, all the disappointment, the haunted of loss, more importantly, though, come back to the table in love, raise your vibration in choosing love, and stand as the lighthouse of hope. I mean, this is really a time, like I say, in order to change that energy around you, if you've been experiencing anything like that, look within and know and see, learn what you can do to really heal those energies so that you can come to the table with a diplomatic approach and lead with love. Now, if that resonates, like I say, and you feel comfortable, share your story in the comments below, or just put a heart in the comments below. But truly here on this channel, we are with you. If you have been feeling lonely or feeling haunted by loss or anything like that, utilize this energy, especially with Mercury and Pisces, to transmute that energy into the work that you do, the passions that you do, the love that you give. This is a time, true, we're coming to the table and recognizing, like, even the people that have come against you, really hurt people only hurt people, right? And recognizing and seeing their emotions, understanding their approach with that empathy is really what draws healing. Like, what comes to mind is, like, if you feel beat up, like where, like, there's just closed doors all over, and no matter which way you turn, if you're having the worst day where it's just like, oh my gosh, I just want a mulligan, seriously, or in, like, say, love, like, where it's just like, my goodness, how do I keep attracting the partner that's wrong for me? And it's not you, right? I'm not meaning it as like, look within and see what you're doing wrong. What I mean is look within and see possibly what you're holding on to, and be careful with what you're calling in. Because if you're holding on to those losses, if you're being haunted by them, letting them go is freedom, so that you can call in what you truly want, what's truly meant for you, and most importantly, what you deserve. But it takes getting out of that flight or fight and getting into that relaxing, safe energy, healing the energy that's wounded within as well from those past experiences, so that you can take the wisdom and walk forward, but influence your partnerships that you're calling in through that attraction of expression, transmuting it in healthy ways, and more importantly, being receptive to connecting at those deeper levels that only the heart can talk, only the language that the heart receives, right? Now, as we close out this weekend here, Spirit, what are some additional messages here, especially as we get a little leg up with the moon being trine with Jupiter? Thank you, Spirit. Okay. So now is the time where really it's like, if you have been feeling imbalanced here, this is the weekend to really focus on those imbalances within energetically, being aware of excessive behaviors and impulsivities, as well as, more importantly, vices. You know, one of the best energy books that I've read lately and on manifestation was about looking at how we kind of, whether we realize it or not, we box ourselves in through the perspective of, oh, I can't. And instead, if you look at those opportunities, if you look through meditation to really see those feelings of entrapment, and more importantly, see those perspectives, those mindsets, those closed aspects of I can'ts as entrapments, but instead rise above that fear and more importantly, believe that everything is possible. And I don't mean that in the cheesy way, but what I mean is that you're stand as a sensible, nurturing person, choosing love, but also trusting the process, finding the security in faith so that you can let go of the past, so that you can let go of grief, of loss, or of regret or mourning. As I would better put it, like what comes to mind is believe you can. Believe you can, decide you will. And that's the biggest thing. If you've been coming up against closed doors or coming up against any type of feeling of entrapment or unhappiness, heartache, now is the time to really decide. Believe you can, decide that you will change, that you will choose love over hate, that you will take the steps to find harmony, to foster harmony in your communications through diplomacy, through balance, but also more importantly, through empathy, choosing love, even in difficult situations. And more importantly, instead of being silenced or wanting to seek isolation, certainly take that time for the healing, obviously, of course, but instead stand in your truth as judgment. Stand in your truth and resolution. Believe you can, decide you will. That's what keeps coming up for me. But more importantly, recognizing that's your karma. You have given, especially if you've had chaotic energies coming at you, being more open-minded. With the moon being trine with Jupiter as well on the 16th, it'll help us with invigorating some positivity into this. I really feel like a lot of tension has been going on. So also too, what I see is confusion. Take advice, now is the time to also too take advice, be open to wiser wisdoms, different perspectives, illuminating those shadows so that you come to a resolution of forgiveness through honesty, but letting the truth speak for itself. In your relationships, in who you support, what you stand for, because truly the universe is in your favor. And what I really see in this weekend here, especially between the Mercury's placement being in Pisces and really being able to read people, but also too with the moon being in Libra, it'll offer you that balance. It's like you're seeing through things. And like I say, the moon is also going to be trine with Jupiter on the 16th as we walk out of this weekend. So Jupiter is in Gemini. And with this, it really, for Virgos, fosters a sense of harmony. It invigorates us with positivity and enhances our communication again. And so this is where it's like, what I hear most is that it's like, it's time for the truth to come forward. Standing as the King of Cups. Standing where your rationality and your emotions are in balance. But more importantly, coming to the table as, as a leader of wisdom, of caring, coming to the table with that emotional intelligence, the maturity of really treating even your adversaries with a human response, recognizing and seeing the beauty in all of us, in the best of us, even in the hardest of situations where we're divisive. This is the weekend where it's like really, when we get that trine with Jupiter, between the moon and Jupiter, it allows us to focus on our diplomatic expression and our willingness to collaborate. You may also, too, find that you're presented with a few new professional opportunities, particularly where it requires or when it requires teamwork and collaboration. And what I'm really getting most out of this especially is that we're stronger together. Instead of one way, looking at it with an open mind. At the bottom of the deck, too, with the community here. I can't stop, but also, too, the peacock and the friend. I'm just saying, you are not alone. If you had been feeling alone, if you've been feeling a need to isolate, this message kind of feels a little all over. But what I really feel is it's like somebody, whoever I'm reading for, is coming to the table where you're recommitting and making the change to not only stand in your vibrancy, stand in your colors, practice what you were meant to do for this world, but recognize your brilliance and being true to yourself. but you're also reinstilling your faith in the community around you. You're letting go of fears, of isolation aspects, more importantly, the idea that, or the lack of connection, I guess is how I would put it. You're getting rid of the isolation or letting go of the isolation or feeling that. And instead you're opening your eyes to the fact that there are friends that surround you right now. You also are in a position of freedom. This is where it's like your heart is pure and free. So if you were feeling entrapment, the way to your freedom is really letting go so that you can remain pure and free in your heart, so that your heart is light as a feather. And there's a greater purpose that calls you. And so what I see in a lot of ways too is that the negativity is basically meant more as a distraction, a temptation. Standing true to you and remembering who you are, what you're meant to, connecting with your purpose, following your intuition with the winds of change is really going to help during this time, because you have unlimited reserves of stamina and strength in your freedom. And whatever you're doing, Spirit wants you to know that with the white stag, you are protected. Your best friend is nature. You're an old soul, but more importantly, your intuition will take you where you want to go. This is the time to awaken the powerful force of love within you, because you're meant to create blessings with your magic. And so, like I say, this is the time, whatever kind of conflict, issues that you've been dealing with, what I really see on this weekend is that you're coming to the table. It's reinvigorating your faith. You're being re-inspired in your faith in how you come to the table to support your community, but also to trusting that and seeing that your community supports you. You are not alone. And this is the time where it's like, truly, if you are an empath, this is the time where your skills are meant to shine. Now, if you have not been feeling that way and you need a little support here, check out the Honey Sea Star store. Also, so all of the designs are meant to inspire, uplift, and empower you as the star that you are. And so if you don't see your power word there, put it in the comments below. Let's design it together and share it on the Honey Sea Star store so that we can lift up as many Virgos as we can. Now, what I also want to do is just look at the major arcana here for music therapy. This weekend is a great weekend to connect with the divine, especially through sound baths. And so what we've got here is the F, the D, the A sharp, the C, and 2 A sharps here. So play around with those chords, develop a melody improv-wise with that so that you can clear out your chakras. Because this is kind of crazy, but it's like we've got the heart chakra, and then we also have the third eye. This is really the head and the heart is what I really see. And it's coming back into alignment with that, utilizing your intuition, but it's also coming back into alignment with your community, with your partnerships, with the people that you work with your work in general that you do through creative expression. Transmuting your energy through art, through your music, through your writing to let your truth be heard. And also, too, to open the door for other perspectives, but creating a safe environment, really, that allows you to receive others and express to others and connecting each other together. So I hope this message helps. Also, too, color therapy-wise, what I see is a lot of magentas, reds, oranges, and greens. And so if you practice color therapy, try those colors. As a reminder too, everything is vibrational, including us. And so make sure to drink plenty of water during this time. That way you can let go of any type of conflict, let go of any type of entrapment, but more importantly, reinvigorate yourself with the freedom that if you believe, then decide you will. You can conquer whatever you're meant to do in this world, and great things will come of it. And so I truly am sending all my love and light to you guys. Happy Valentine's Day, and I will see you in the next reading.